You are entering the world of Master Shaman PaLiChee with PaLiChee Healing. We discuss here the universe, enlightened shamanism, and our world, informing the misinformed. Welcome, welcome. Hello, warmest blessings. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee, and welcome to the Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show. Today we are discussing how to know it's your Sifu or the Sifu for you. How many of you have been looking for a Sifu for the longest time? Type that at the side chat bar and let me know what your thoughts are on finding a Sifu. Has it been difficult? Has it been easy? Is it something that you've naturally come to try to really hone in and already can feel who is your Sifu, but you just haven't made the move? Could it be that? Okay, and type down, of course. Wes Logue is here today typing in Jujuchi, hearts and stars for me. Go ahead and do that if you guys are just joining in. If you haven't already, go ahead and click on the like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. If you are on Facebook as well, go and follow me there now. Everything that I'm asking for you to do is absolutely a favor, and it is totally free to do so, very quick and easy. So these discussion points that I'm going to be talking about today is reflective on my spiritual perspective of myself and is intended to encourage thoughtful exploration as we go and discuss how to know it's the Sifu for you. Now, for those of you that are, this is all about the perspective of shamanism. So shamanism, how to find that shamanic teacher or Sifu. Have you been through a spiritual journey? Have you felt the pull towards your deeper life journey of becoming a shaman, or as I call it, a unique healer of some sort? So somebody that you feel in your head, you have this thought about in your head of this type of healer that you want to be. Perhaps you're not trying to be a shamanic practitioner. Perhaps you want to be somebody that is unique and you're not going to shake as a shaman. Maybe you want to do something else as a healer, but cannot seem to be able to pinpoint which Sifu or teacher out there is the best fit for you. Right now and today we're going to be discussing that. Warmest blessings. I am known for establishing PaLiChee healing. I am also the first Hmong Shamanic Enlightenment that established the first Hmong Enlightenment Center since 2011. And I have uplifted individuals to becoming practitioners that you may have already come across since 2011 till now. And I'm also being one of the first and true self-rising Hmong shamans of my time through spirit with my on-point shamanic soul readings, transformations, and manifestations that come to life at PaLiChee Healing. I am Master Shaman PaLiChee. If you don't know me yet, welcome to the channel. My spiritual journey began as a young child through spiritual encounters, unexplainable shamanic illnesses, and near-death experiences, which I'm not proud to say, but I have gone through those firsthand. I have helped thousands of people through enlightened shamanic and transformational healing on a global scale, and I'm here to inform you of the misinformed through my shamanic perspective. All links that you need from me are in the description below. So what is the first thing that comes to mind when you think about searching for a Sifu? What is that first thing? What is that first thing? Type it down at the chat bar for me. Have you had trouble in finding your Sifu, or even having trouble in trying to decipher and discern who this person may be? There has been many questions of this to me as a Sifu myself. Many have come to me over the years asking, Master PaLiChee, how do I find my Sifu? How do I know that it's going to be my teacher? The reason being is that when you go out and you're ready to find a teacher, you're feeling like you're in your spiritual journey, you want to up level your spiritual journey and your path, but you have done almost everything that you feel like you've gotten the resources, you've knocked on the doors, and nothing seems to work. Or it's working, but it's minimal, and you feel like you're at the top of your own growth. Like you've done everything spiritual, but you're at the top and you've done like so many things, but you can't seem to really fully understand what being a shaman is like or can be. What does that mean for you as a person? Or maybe even the idea of what is a healer? And spirit is not coming in, is not chiming in with you or at you. You've gone through maybe multiple different scenarios that could have been maybe hardships or shamanic illnesses and that sort of thing. And some of you, maybe you haven't gone through any of that, but you just want to explore your spiritual journey. Well, that's when it's going to be very tough for you to finding a Sifu. There almost needs to be some kind of disaster, some kind of, and I'm not saying that it's a negative thing that I'm not saying that let's think of it negatively, but truthfully and honestly speaking, from firsthand experience and from the experiences that I've gotten from other clients that have come to me for this specific question, taking a look at what has happened in their lives and in my own, I've come to the conclusion that there may have to be some kind of an uproar in your life, like a tower moment. So for some of you that can relate to tarot, right? You might have to have a big tower moment or some kind of big disaster in order for you to be then very drawn to healing or very drawn to a spiritual journey. Perhaps it's not even a spiritual journey in the first place. It's just trying to find healing. Most people that find their Sifu is not actually because they purposely and intentionally went and tried to seek out a Sifu. How they find their Sifu is really through a disastrous situation, meaning that they had to go through some kind of hardship, illness, or some kind of a need, like they needed to be healed. They needed to face their trauma. They went through a trauma and now they are ashamed of themselves, but they want to get out of their trauma. And they know inside of themselves, in their intuition, that they have to find someone to help them, plainly needing aid and assistance of help so that they can heal. This is the time. If this time comes in for you and has come for you, you know exactly what I mean. But when you're in need of healing, this is the time that you are going to be seeking, though you don't know it, it's indirectly coming into contact with a Sifu or with a teacher that is actually going to heal you. But though they're healing you, they're also helping you to uprise in your spiritual journey or your spiritual thermostat, that is to say. Once your spiritual thermostat starts to rise, so there's a spiritual thermostat for those of you that don't know. How many of you know? Type it at the chat. How many of you know that you have a spiritual thermostat? It's this thing that measures how spiritual your energy is or how your frequency is. Not how spiritual you are, as in like, competing, but it's more about how high is your spiritual energy? How many of you know that or knew that you had that thermostat in you? That we call it the soul, right? The soul is the one that is either a percentage. So there's a percentage of the soul that knows how well you can handle things on a spiritual level. So if you can handle it very well, and you are not going to get angry, or you know how to handle things and you're disciplined enough, then your spiritual thermostat is quite high. And your intelligence is also higher at that time. But if you're immature about things, and even on daily things, if you are still very argumentative about a perspective, or your truth, and you're not willing to hear other people's truths, and perhaps your truth is not as close to the universal truth as theirs, and you're still arguing that your truth is the truth, well, then you get to experience what you get to experience, right? Because then no one can tell you what's correct or what's right. Only you can determine that. And when you determine that, then you get to go through what your choice is, what your decision is in your life. Because you want to believe something else, and the universal truth is something else. Can any one person know the universal truth? Of course they can, if they have a higher spiritual vibration, okay? Then they can connect. For those of you that are listening right now, have you liked, subscribed, and hit that notification button for me? If you are here for a reading, go type down on the chat that you are here and that you would like to get a reading from me in this live today. I'm going to go back through the questions. If you guys have any questions about your spiritual journey, about a reading question that you may have, go ahead and type that at the chat bar. I'm going to try to get through as much as I can. And if you want to call in, there is the number right at the chat bar. You can talk to me live and ask that question if you'd like. All right. So this is the first thing that most people will do when they are looking for a Sifu or a teacher, because in the shamanic realm, at some point in time, you're going to need a Sifu. Now, needless to say, there is the 0.001% that never needed a Sifu because they are taught by spirit. And if they're taught by spirit, then there's no need for a Sifu. If you've gotten, very clear and concise direction, spiritual direction from your spiritual guides, and they've led you the benevolent way, and then results have been coming out, there's no need for a Sifu until you hit a surface or a ceiling level. Unless you hit a ceiling level, then you may not seek for more help or new help, that is to say, or another Sifu's help at that point in time. If you never need it and you never felt the need for it, then that means you're pretty good to go. You don't need any help, and you're going to be just fine on your own until you hit the ceiling and you need the Sifu or another master to initiate you, or to invigorate and initiate you and do healing on you because you've hit a ceiling. Okay. But other than that, we've got most of everyone else that is a rising shaman that will need a Sifu. And I have told you why in a different video. But I'm also going to say it again. Once you figure out that you need a Sifu, and how do you know you need one? How many of you that are watching right now knows that you need one? And how did you figure that out, right? You know you need a Sifu when you cannot see further and beyond what you're trying to do. If you ask yourself the question, or you ask your spirit guides the question, and nothing chimes in, no spiritual guidance, you're not being able to feel or know or have a good knowing about what is to come, or what is this path for you. Like, it's blurry. And at the same time, your intuition feels blurry. You feel like you can't trust yourself. You feel like you have doubts and you have fear about what is being felt in your intuition. You're also feeling as though your innate gifts and abilities feels boggled, or you don't have them fully or at all. And you're just still, but then something happened to you. Maybe you went through a phenomenon, spiritual illness. You went through something, and it brought you to the point where you can make up your mind and discern that says to yourself, I need a Sifu, or I need to look into this more. I need more resources. And now you're looking at resources, you're doing this, doing that, watching other shamans, watching different Sifus or masters out there, practitioners out there, and you're trying to decide, is a Sifu for me, or which one is for me? You go through these type of questions. Once you start to ask yourself these questions, you're in the lineup of finding a Sifu, because you know that you can't see as clearly or can't hear, or you don't have the psychic abilities enough or the knowing enough to trust yourself in what is being guided to you, whether it's on a daily basis or once in a while. And you're telling yourself, I'm not sure if this is correct. I'm not sure. Everything is I'm not sure, or I don't know, or can this really happen? Once you keep questioning this, the answer is you will need a Sifu if you're going down the path of becoming a shamanic practitioner or a healer of some sort, a unique healer, seer, wizard, whatever it is. It's just finding your innate gifts and abilities. Now, there are those that may say, okay, well, I have some gifts and abilities, and I've shown myself some gifts and abilities. I've had some visions, I've gotten some dreams. I'm able to kind of interpret my dreams. I'm kind of able to hear, get a knowing. I may be able to hear a spirit guide here and there, and maybe they're talking to me here and there, but I'm not sure who it is, and I'm not sure if it's all good. Like, could it be a malevolent? Could it be bad? Could it be negative entity that's doing this to me? And you're having like a sketchy feeling. Well, the answer to you is also yes, you will need a Sifu. So we've answered the question, are you going on the path, or are you not? And sometimes it's not for you to choose, it chooses you, or it's a calling to you. It's a calling to you to say, hey, you've got to go on the path of becoming a shaman. And perhaps it's not becoming a shaman for anybody else, but you've got to come into the path so that you can heal, so that you can feel like you're going into that shamanic path, that you're going to be this great healer. But at the same time, it's not being the great healer for anybody else except you. It's to be the healer for yourself. And once you can become the healer for yourself, then that's when it will be determined if you can become a healer for someone else. Did everybody get that? This is totally important for those of you that are rising shamans, because sometimes you're asking, well, I'm on this journey and I'm supposed to be a shaman. You ask yourself this question, right? I'm supposed to be a shaman. Some people tell me that I have shamanic gifts and abilities, or some people tell me that I'm supposed to be a shaman, but there's no more information than that. Or there could be a little bits and pieces of information. But the truth is, you're not determined to be a type of shaman until you're willing to go and be the shaman for yourself. And what I'm saying is, until you're willing to heal yourself. And again, going back to the beginning of this show, I said, when you are seeking your spiritual journey, when you're trying to get out of your hardship, get out of the trauma, whatever it is that happened to you and you've been hurt, You've been scarred and wounded, and now you want to heal that wound. Well, you start searching for help. You start lowering your ego and pride, and you are humbled down because of the disaster, because that disaster 99% of the time has to happen because it's to humble you down. If you haven't had anything like this happen, no shamanic illness, no disastrous thing happen to you, well, you might be lucky if you were to become this rising healer and just rose. You might be part of that 0.001%. But if you haven't, you maybe have had shamanic illnesses, no other troubles, and still rise, right? But if you've gone through shamanic illness, if you've gone through phenomenons, spiritual ones, paranormal experiences, if you've gone through anything else like hardships like this, then you know for sure that you are being called to heal something, a wound of some sort in your life. Talking to the Hmong audience. Yo ne bao tao hatia ne mua itaka yo mu linh từ là yo ne mu sai yai linh từ họ tao khe rồi ne yo lỡ tu Sifu bỏ lỡ tu niệm neng chỉ neng bỏ tao khe rồi ne hatia ne mua yaiแต่ชินเนจุดต่อป้อแต่มั่วเนยมั่วนั่งดิจ่าแล้วยังนั่งยายตรงดิจ่าเนจุดต่อมั่วอีคอสาหัแต่เนยอ้วนนั่งอ้วนยายลีแต่ชีหนูมั่วอีคอเก๋ยัวเนี่ยเขานี่รู้นั่งยต้องกาอีจะเก๋คอมันเนาะจียหัแต่เนยชอจื่อมุนเทียตูเนี่ยนั่งจีนั่งไอ้ยอละอ้วนนี่ตูซีฟูแต่ชีเนยเทียจะเก๋คออ้วนได้ยันนี่ยันเทียจะเกี่ยวกับวันเดินเด้อนี่อ้วนหมูเย่นี่จิลิมุนจีนี่ตัวซีฟูซูคนน้อยอยากขอจงชับเลยอยากขอเทียซีฟูจีอยากกันเทียจีอยากก็ชอบจืนเทียแต่ชีอยากมั่วอีจะเกี่ยวต้องกาตัวกันเทียก็เทียเลียมุนจีก็ตัวซีฟูจะเกี่ยวน้อยอยากจะเกี่ยวที่อีชับเลยอยากขอมุนเทียซีฟูเนาะtrong lên trong tù chỉ xả bỏ rong đi nọ thôi lỡ muốn thiết tụ tín hình kho lỡ gọi lỡ rong chị tổ lỡ kho ta chị lỡ rong lỡแต่ชีthôi lỡ rong là chị lỡ rong xía lỡ chỉ xả ra chỉ li lỡ chỉ xảแต่lỡ yo ôn nín ôn yai lỡ chỉ xảแต่lỡ yon thiệt kỹ nín kỹ yai lỡ gọi lỡ chơ gọi lỡ họ ôn tàu lỡ tụ khen chỉ mua khó rong đi nọ yoแต่ชีôn in đồn gì cho cá mua ít họ kể nhua đồ lớn bà nó chỉ lấy yo tất cả tua thế ít cái kho thầu có thế cái kho y o bê sầu lợ có yo tao bao tao hạt tiệt có phim mù rồi tụ niệm năng là chỉ năng đỡ chỉ tụ nó kho tao có rong tất cả lò nhưng rong lợ thiệtแต่chỉ tất cả mua lợ giả cơ rồi họ có luôn năng thầu rong đi nó lỡ chỉ coi ở tàu bao họ có lục tụ khen nhỏ giờ có chỉ tàu bao cho cá cho kỹ trái ôn nén ngoài dài này nhỏ lấy cho cá cho kỹ trái yếu có rong lò này nhỏ chỉ giờ tụ tin nên đỡ kho tàu có ấy có phí sử giàu có tụ khen hai tia ấu nữ kho tàu cũ yên rong lỡ thia chỉ có mù ở nè nó nam đôi nữ mù thể lý có lý ba cha bỏ mù mua cho cái trong xia trong nữ cái xia để xia đến chữ bỏ lý nọ mù đánh tiền thì cho con đánh bỏแล้วก็mù tiền thì cho con đánh lỡ này chị thôi có tiền tao thì cho con đánh lỡ này chị có ra cái rong nữa mà bây giờ chỉ có rong ló chỉ có chỉ cho cái liệtแต่chỉ có ra cái mù rồi rồi bé chị không nói chỉ mua cho cái cho nhỏ có lúc năng lời giả nó chưa có giả cũ rồiแต่chỉ lời giả tê thổi yo giả cũ theo chỉ đi pin dia có li nọ cho cái nọ thổi li nọ chỉ có sự xả bỏ tao để có yên tranh từ nhà năng là có yên tranh từ chỉ năng đỡ cha chỉ có pin rong xia mù đâu nữa thế có xả mù đâu nữa sư có chỉ xả bỏ là lên là tù liao cái gì sợ bỏ thì ô tụi nó tới rồi giờ bao tàu theo mù xỉ tụi nó sai mù xỉ tụi nó thì chỉ có mù xỉ thế này có chỉ là mù còn lớn bao có thể theo chỉ là xỉ tụi này nên có sợ có bao có thể theo mà cái gì mù còn nữa bao có thể theo chỉ có lúc xíu lúc lấy những xã còn nữa bao có rồng lò thầu có ô nó rồi ý rồi ó rồi bé lỡ mà nó tụi tin nên khó tụi có rồng chỉ giờ đi trả lò có mua ít khó đỡ nữ ok nữ ba tụi có chỉ có dễ dầu giờ có bao cho cái trái nên nhai chỉ có giờ bao ấy cũng giờ khéo nên hú nói ạ thì giờ tụi tin nên khó tụi có đỡ ấy có trò rồng lò có trò trên một chia có lúc xưa đã cá mua lúc xưa tủ lúc xưa tia lúc xưa đấy thò nhưng mà nó có những bao tỏ tia ít tụi tin nên yếu chủ sao mà bao tỏ tia tụi tin nên khó cũng đỡ tụi nên chỉ nên đỡ của đã cá một thọ nữa ô của tụi Sifu sư chỉ mua là tụi yếu ô tô của tụi Sifu vì hai tia của số muốn chỉ nữa lợ của trong má trong mông chỉ tàu nữa sai tàu nữ cú tụ khen chập chu cho đua tàu nó hay tiền nữ khó cú tàu rong bao tàu hay tiền nữ ya tụ ya ba tàu cú and this is about you using your head and your heart có sĩ có lúc xia cầm lòng có lúc xia cầm lòng có lúc lỡ chỉ ya hay tiền có ya hay tiền ô họ cầm lòng có lúc lư này à hay tiền nên nó có mua cho cái ở xa lý cha sao nữa nữ lỡ lên là tụ hai lý cha có chỉ xa sao thế nào lý có chỗ xa to thì có sai cho hay phun look at the facts con chơi cho hay phun hay tiền nếu ba tổ của ra chỉ ở nhà tổ suốt đời của họ sủ mù đâu nữa ấy cũng chỉ mù đâu tụ tao nó là cũng chỉ mù đâu tụ sát đóแต่是กูสามูđâu nữaกูlúc xưaสามูđâu nữa cú lúc xưa xa tàu tiền nữa khó tàu cú có xa tàu lên nó thổ suốt thôi chị tuần tới thì giờ ô tàu có tụ Sifu lì tê tú nằm mà trong lên nó thiệt giờ thầu có giờ sai hay tiệt có giờ thiệt lên từ khó có ba khó có rong đi nữa có cho kỹ nhua là cho kỹ mò kỹ ngang giờ có giờ sai hay tiệt cho đi cú bỏ giờ cú pin nó tụi nó hay mà cú nhẹ cha chỉ có lúc xưa sự tình nhẹ nửa lo lù có lúc xưa sự tình nhẹ mồm lòng nửa hai tê tụ chỉ cầm lòng nửa ít là ở lò gì cầm lòng chỉ tàu đi lợ nếu như mỗi khó để trong chỉ chua hú là do chỉ chua chân là do trong nửa chỉ đi mùa hai là tụ cho lù sư chỉ nếu một khó trong nó thế hả chỉ nửa tôm lòng hầu này lúc xưa luôn chữ lúc lỡ có rong cho yo hạt tiệt trả email gì thế rồi có họ chỉ châm lòng xưaแต่是có châm lòng là chỉ thế rồi có yo xả bỏ thiệt phí sử cho tàu hạt tiệt tụi nó yo có tụi Sifu nè chỉ con nó chỉ ní tức kia rồi có tàu là nó nhỏ yo ít khó mãi thần lo thì ít khó mãi thần tàu it's a very deep message, a very clear message that shows you already that that is your Sifu and teacher. If that person was able to heal you and you were given results. So after first, second, and third tries, you've gotten results and they were very good for you. Though you just thought that like this, like you're thinking like, okay, I'm just going to this person for a reading. I'm just going to this person for a spiritual diagnosis. I just want this trauma or whatever troubles that you were trying to get rid of to get healed. And then you got good results from it. After the first, second, and third tries, you got good results. What does that tell you? That tells you that the day you are ready to become a rising healer of some sort, that's the person that you can go to help you rise. And usually it's the first person that you meet and is able to heal you in a way that you were able to feel the deep feelings, the deep healings, the deep observations that you've done to see and discern that that person was able to do it for you. Now, there is going to be some times when you meet a person or a shamanic healer for the first time, they're able to do something, but you don't really feel it. You don't really feel this healing power or energy, okay? But maybe another person can feel it, but you only felt it kind of. It's either one, you are not open to them yourself, you're biased and you are not open to them, or two, their energy and essence and whatever they were doing was not all there. So one or the two may distort the energies as well. But if you feel very open to a certain shamanic healer or practitioner, and that practitioner is able to help you, and you continue to trust the process and trust that, then you get results from it, then that is going to be and can be your Sifu or teacher. And it's more of a plus if they are able to view and see and know your spiritual guides. If they know, if they can already feel, that's good. If they can see and then can tell you what the names of your spiritual guides are genuinely, then that means you have found your Sifu or teacher. Now, in the traditional way, and this is 2026, so we're talking about how to find one in 2026, you're just going to have to trust the process, and you go to a specific shamanic healer and teacher because you can feel that they will be able to help and heal you. Okay? So if you feel this way, then that you have to go off of your initial feeling that this person is able to help and heal you. For those, and then if you go with your mind, so some people has told me this too, Master Shaman PaLiChee, but I just know that this person or this healer is my Sifu or teacher, but I feel like their price is too much for me. But I feel like they're charging more than what I can pay right now. Or I feel like they're charging too little and I'm gonna be indebted to them. There's these two different ways. So once you feel this, then you are going to feel a bit of resistance, as in your mind feeling resistance on whether it is your Sifu or whether it's not your Sifu. Okay. So, like I said, go with your heart first. No matter what it takes, if you feel that it's correct for you, you must go into that path. Because why do I say this? I'm not on anybody, I'm not on vetting for anyone out there, whether they do it for free or whether they charge a little or a lot. It's not about the amount of what you're going to do and pay. It is the amount of what you're going to pay spiritually. Okay? Depending on what it is. If you look into it as, oh, I'm going to have to pay a ton of money to get this, to get to the seafood, or it's going to be free. Yay. It's all free information, but I'm going to be indebted to them spiritually. So you got to look at what is the payoff, what is the pro and what is the con. At the same time, some people are like, oh, I don't want to do the free because I don't want to be indebted to anyone. I don't want to also pay a lot because I don't have the money, or I don't want to go get the money and do that. I don't want to have to pay as in dollars, right? Or whatever it could be. But I want to just do it on my own. And now you become a self-rising healer, right? I'm going to accept this call. Hold on 1 second for me, please. So this person then becomes or start to become a self-riser with resource. They haven't heard spirit guidance yet, but they are trying to rise on their own with resources, like listening to this shaman, listening to that shaman and their channel, multiple different shamanic channels, and then also listening to different resources out there in regards to spirit and spirit guidance and how to connect with spirit and everything. And then guess what? They are somewhat rising. They are somewhat going on the path, but they will it will be very difficult and take some years for them. And this is the honest truth. I'm not saying don't rise on yourself. Yeah, of course anybody can. Of course you can rise with resources. But it is going to take long, and you are going to still need a teacher in the end. Okay, I'm going to take this call. Who am I speaking to? Welcome to the Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show. Okay, sorry, hold on 1 second for me. I gotta get you on my thing here. Hold on 1 second. Oops. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Say that question one more time.
Oh, I have two questions I'd like to ask you for your divine advice.
Yes, please, you can go ahead.
Okay, so one is a dream. I had a dream,
Mm-hmm.
and in my dream, there's multiple scenario situations in my dream. It started where I I saw myself reopening a business that it's very similar to what I had already closed. And in the dream, I was just confused about why I reopened a similar business when I just closed my dream. So it was kind of like I was watching myself operating the business while I'm operating the business too, all at the same time. And then the situation changes to where I was sitting there with a man, and he was telling me about his two ex-girlfriends that he had who died terribly, and he was just in remorse and in regret. And I was comforting him, and then all of a sudden I looked at my hand, my left hand, and um, there was a voice.
Mm-hmm.
It was like echoing in my head, but it's kind of like it sounds like it was my husband's voice, and it said to me that soon, because of because I completed my training or something like that, soon my left hand, a channel will open, and I will know when I opened. And in the dream, in my mind, I was asking how will I know? Like, give me some signs. And then I saw images of a man smoking cocaine, and multiple examples like items was popping up that they were not very clear, but I kind of feel like it the word cocaine, and then I woke up.
Well, I'll say that dream, there's various different aspects in your life that's shown up in that dream. One is your business, is a career area. And you said that out here in the waking life, you've closed that business down, right?
Yeah.
But in the dream, you're still operating the business.
Yes.
So in that part, just that specific part, it's showing to you, it's a message to you that perhaps it's something that you may need to reconsider, not just the business itself, but a different aspect of that business, because there's a part of you that maybe is lingering with the business, though you say, oh, it's done and over with, right? There may be a part of you that misses not just the field or the type of business, but doing business in general. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So there's a part of you that's saddened, we'll call it a spiritual fragment, that is saddened that that closed down because it had to come to terms. Okay. But there's a part of you that is not happy with that closing down the way it did. And there is still a need to be your own boss. Okay. So that's something to consider in doing and opening something else in the future. It may not be exactly that same business, but it is the aspect of doing business, the aspect of being an entrepreneur. Does that make sense?
Yeah. So I've always been an entrepreneur. When I closed the business down, I went into a salon suite. So it's still a business. Yeah. So now I'm just operating with just me and my clients in a salon suite. I am also starting a like it's kind of like crafting. I'm creating bracelets,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's more like an online business.
Mm-hmm.
In the dream, when I was asking for example, I feel like I saw a bracelet pop up
Mm-hmm.
too.
Mm.
So yeah, the handmade creations, the business, that business that I'm trying to grow is something that I'm focusing on too. So,
Uh-huh. And it's just
mhm.
another aspect of you doing business, basically, and to continue
Okay,
on. So to continue in that aspect of being an entrepreneur and not be discouraged through the waking life where you close the business down.
okay,
Okay. So it's encouraging you to continue on with whatever that you're starting in another type of, I don't know if it's a side thing. It seems like it is, at least for now.
yeah,
But you're hoping that it can grow to something bigger. But again, in that dream, that aspect is more about you growing the business that you're starting. But again, there's a spiritual fragment that wanted to continue operating, and that's a part where, yeah, like Jolene Daite, I would say that getting a spiritual, a soul calling would help you to
okay.
go into focus on what you're doing now, at least in the field work, but you're still doing business. But then, of course, there's the energy of down, like a feeling of downfall, where you
Oh, okay.
like a feeling that you failed something. Okay.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
on the other aspects, I would say that it's more about your relationship. Okay. And you may want to pay attention to relationship side as you work into your business because all that is kind of intertwining. So the dream is literally telling you while you're doing this, you also want to pay attention here with your relationship, like love relationship, that is. Okay, your marriage, right? Is it
Okay.
marriage?
Yes.
Okay. And don't let that slip, basically, if that makes
Okay.
sense. Yeah, because
Yeah.
yeah, once you let that slip and you're like really focused into your bracelet making or whatever it is you're doing over there, then you may miss the boat on something that's happening over here and you may not want that. And even right now as we speak is something that you should probably look into more, maybe even start to put some dates down on your calendar to spend time with your husband. Okay.
Okay.
So I find that
So,
these two aspects are the main aspects of that dream.
okay. So, what about the channel on the left hand?
Uh the channel on the left hand,
Yeah.
that's something that is spiritual. At the same time, you've had this dream, like when did you have this dream? Like a couple days ago, last night,
I think last week.
last week. Okay. Channel on last hand just means that there's going to be something coming in to let you know, um, give you insight, okay, give you insight on what is to come um, in your life as when it comes to both the business and relationship, and whether that comes through to you on your left hand. So left is something that I'd say it goes further into, if I go deeper into that, that's more focusing on brain structure. So if you look at your left brain, if you look at your left side more, that's also the left side is where your heart lies. So it's more of the brain structure, how that's connected to your brain, the energy there,
Mm.
the essence, the energy there coming there, also giving you insight through that left brain. Okay, so see what that means for you as in the left brain. Okay,
Oh, I see. Okay. Okay.
I'll leave it there.
Um, yeah, okay. So my second question is with my bracelets, my handmade side of the business. I I had this idea about um about, it's kind of like I have this idea that I wanted to add on something. It's kind of like a mystery bracelet type of thing that, because what I'm doing is more like resonance. If you resonate with this bracelet, then something within you, like you have that or something like that. So I have this idea of a mystery bracelet, and pretty much like if someone chooses a mystery bracelet, I pick it for them, and then I can pick like whatever energy that I feel is suits them. I had that idea, and it kept resurfacing. I don't know if I should um, continue on with that idea, like do it now, or if I should wait a little bit longer. So this is something that I'd like to ask your advice on.
Yeah, so the question is, how do you feel about this idea? Are you afraid of it being incorrect? Or are you doubtful of the idea because you may be judged by it? Or do you feel like the idea is awesome? Like, what's the first thing that
I
comes to your mind?
I feel the idea is awesome and it's different. Um, I keep feeling like the urge to do it, but I think I do feel like I might be judged. Not in a bad way, but just judged in a way of like the people that know me would never see that side of me in a way.
Yeah, you're afraid that you're going to be judged. So this is where your mindset comes in. So you're going to have to leave that mind alone and go with your heart. Your heart says, I want to do this, right? So everything else is obsolete.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
So I'd say go and do it.
All right.
I'd say go and do it.
Master PaLiChee.
Yes, yes. Go and do it. And it's, if anything fails, then you don't lose anything. You don't worry about what other people is going to think of you. You more are thinking about, what am I bringing to the world? All right. All right. I'm going to stop here.
All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Yes, you're welcome, and warmest blessings. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
All right. So I believe her name was Mai. I don't know if I got a name, but I thought it was Mai. Or may have heard that in my head. Okay, so anyways, we're talking about today warmest blessings to those that are coming in right now. Danny Masuko says Nyajong, warmest blessings. C Fane says hello, Sifu. Yes, warmest blessings. Ying Lor gives me a heart. We are there. And an orange heart from Orangey-san. Thank you for all these orange hearts, Orangey-san. You've been coming in with lots of orange hearts. I have Wes Loic coming in and saying, I was looking for a teacher for a while. Then I encountered you and the universe introduced you to me. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. Yes, that is very true, Wes Loic. And Wes Loic is a disciple and he is out there on PaLiChee healing as well. I know he wasn't prepared for this, but I'm going to let you know that you can get a free consultation from Wes Loic on www.palichehealing.com, and he is also here live with us today. So when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That is a very it's a quote. I believe it was Buddha. I don't remember, but I believe it's one of the higher ascended masters that said that, and that is a very good way of saying it. I've always said it also to my students that I'm not going to tell you that I'm your Sifu, even though I know that I'm your Sifu. But what I'm going to say is that you've got to decipher, you've got to decide if you really want this spiritual and shamanic path. Okay. I'm answering the call. This is Master Shaman PaLiChee at your Master Shaman PaLiChee show. Welcome. Who am I speaking to?
Hi, this is Maiku.
Maikula.
Maiku?
Maiku. Warmest blessings, Maiku. What can I do to
Hi.
help you today?
So I have a few questions about some things that I have encountered these past few days, and so I would like to just call and ask you
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
Okay, so the
Hold on
very
one
first
moment.
one was
Oh, sorry. Hold on one moment.
no worries.
I'm just getting a feel. It doesn't seem positive. It feels very negative. Though it's pushing you into a positive light, though, what has happened. Maiku, right?
Yes, Maiku.
Maiku. Okay. Here's a spirit message for you. Okay.
Yeah.
Lohatia, so don't worry about what had happened, though it's going to be hard to erase in your memory. But what this is steering you towards is truly to basically, and I'm hearing this very loud and clear, to basically get down on your knees and ask for help from God. Do you feel that?
Yeah.
Can you hear me, Maiku?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Can you feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, I can.
Let me know how that makes sense for you.
Yeah, I think I've been in my headspace a lot, and I feel like a lot of times there's things that I do that I don't really like, but I just do it.
That you what now?
That I just do it, and I don't like.
You don't think about it.
Yes, I don't think about it,
Or think
and
about the
then.
consequence.
Mhm. Yes.
It's time for you to stop and calm and get yourself collected. Okay.
Yeah.
It's the time for you to, and they want to tell you this again, it's time for you to get down on your knees and start asking for help, praying for help. There's something that is leading or guiding you into the wrong direction is what's happening here. Do you understand?
Mhm. Yeah.
And does this make sense to you?
Yeah, it does.
And it's leading you to behave in a way where you're always going to continue to regret what you did. And when you keep regretting, then it's going to feel like you don't want to do anything. You don't want you feel, and then you'll feel afraid to do something because then it's going to be another trauma. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And even though we don't know what happened, because I stopped you from talking, I can sense that whatever happened, it has caused you to feel, it's like you traumatized yourself again. Correct? This is something that, and what I'm going to do is actually do a clearing, just a small one, though I'm always modest on what I say. So if I say small, it may not be small for another person, but it's small for me. Take a deep breath for me, my coup. I'm just going to clear. This energy feels very ancestral. Have you felt this energy for quite some time, like a couple years? Or maybe you didn't notice it fully?
I probably didn't notice it fully, but I have been feeling it.
You have been what?
I have been feeling it lately.
Feeling
I
it
would say for
lately.
a couple months.
Okay. So, Maiku, take a slow, deep breath for me. And I want you to close eyes, open up your palms, and ready to receive. And I have my drum right here, so we're just going to do a clearing with the drum. Deep breath. Deep breath. Deep breath. Take a slow, deep breath, Maiku.
Mm-hmm.
Warm energies flowing in now. And I want you to pull your arms to your chest. Your guardian angel tells me that you're going to do okay. And in the next week or so, that there is going to be an opportunity of some sort for you to show yourself that you can have some kind of control over your emotion. This is the emotion, feels like anger. Does that make sense to you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I'm going to stop here. Do you have any further questions?
No, I don't.
Has this all made sense for you, Maiku?
Yes, it does.
All right. All right. If you haven't already, go like, subscribe, and hit that notification button. All right. I'll talk to you next time, Maiku.
Thank you.
Yes. And if you can, please go write a quick, do this for me quickly. Take a minute to go write a quick review on how you felt. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Whether here or
Yeah.
on my Facebook page.
Yeah.
All right. Warmest blessings.
Thank you.
Yes. Can definitely do deeper healing, but this is what I've got for you today. And I feel that it really, this one entity is actually really ashamed. Ashamed is the feeling that I got from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Talk to you soon next time. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
All right. So For those of you that are on with me, I want to tell you that when, there's a pro and a con when you do it I was getting to the traditional way of finding a Sifu, which is zheke. So if you're trying to zheke or use an egg to stand and asking like another person that can do this and that has often done this, you're asking them to zheke or to do this divination to finding your Sifu, there's a pro and a con to that. That's the traditional way. And most people are not doing that in 2026 anymore because it hasn't worked for the longest time. It will work for some people, very few, but for most people, it will not work anymore. This was the traditional way that our grandma and grandpa in their times did it, but it was done because it was a different time and place. Now, when you do a joke or a divination tool, using a divination tool like an egg or an incense stick to divine who your spiritual teacher or Sifu is, you'll get the fact that they can be a Sifu, but then you look at them, you're like, I don't feel anything with them. There's this all the time. You have, like, let's say you limit yourself basically to like 3 people and 3 names that you have, and then you're doing the divination to go into it, and then you get the response back. Yes, the egg stands for this particular Sifu or teacher, but you go and look at them, their altar, you go and have a feel for their character, their persona is what I'm also going to talk about, is you don't feel it. You simply don't feel a draw to this person. And you may feel a little bit of something, but you don't feel it with them, or you don't feel like you can trust them, or you feel as though their knowledge may not be what you were looking for. There's all this type of thing going on, right? When you do this type of divination. So even though you chose the name because maybe you had nobody else's name that you can choose from, right? So it's really limiting when you do zheke or even shaixia or using any other divination tool. Okay, so there's that for you. We wouldn't do this fully in 2026 unless you truly believe that zheke or using the egg or a divination tool is going to get you to the right fit Sifu, and that right fit Sifu would also accept you as a student. So, number 2, doing a self-reading. So some people like to do a self-reading once they have a feel for a Sifu or teacher. They'll go in and do like an intuitive reading, or if they're intuitive already. And sometimes most people are not. And they'll go in and just maybe use their intuition a little bit, and it's not going to, because their spiritual vibration is still not up to par. When I say up to par, it doesn't mean like I'm better or you're better. It just means your spiritual vibration has not gotten to the level where the universe will give you clearance on knowing more knowledge. Okay. So when your spiritual vibration isn't up to par and you're kind of off, feeling off, and you try to do this self reading and using like tarot cards or whatever kind of cards or a divination tool of some sort, and you're using intuition, trying to use meditation, you're going into a meditation and trying to see if that's Sifu or teacher and which one would be for you, or if that's the right one. And then you're also maybe using tarot cards, right? So then all of a sudden you get the answer, but you're not happy with it. So I want to say that. And that has been the issue all along with self readings. I'm going to answer this call. Warmest blessings. Welcome to the Dear Master Shaman PaLiChee show. May I ask who I'm speaking with?
Yeah, this is Zua Zhang.
Zhua, right?
Yeah.
I'm just wanting to see if I hear that correctly. Zhua Shang, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What would you like for me to help you with today?
I was just wondering if it means anything. So, like the other day when I was driving going to work, like 2 birds, they flew and they hit my windshield.
And then like I think a day or two after that, like I had like a bad like sleep paralysis.
Mm.
Sorry, like I felt like something was on top of me choking me.
Oh,
So
okay.
I was just
So you got sat on or supposed like a
yeah,
sleep
yeah,
paralysis, right?
yeah. The
Okay. So what hit your windshield? Birds or something?
like two birds, they were flying, and I was stopped at a red light, so and they were flying, and then they just
Oh.
kind of like hit my windshield, and then they
Mm-hmm.
left.
And both of them died?
No, they didn't die,
Oh, they just got injured.
because I was already like stopped at the red light,
Okay.
and
Okay.
then they just flew, and then yeah.
Okay. So they got injured supposedly. Um,
I'm not sure if they're injured, but then they did flew away though.
mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure they got injured.
Yeah,
Okay, so you're asking what that means, right?
yeah. It didn't mean anything.
So I'm going to say before you told the little story of what happened, the first thing that came to my mind was it's your relationship. Okay? So there's something in your relationship side. Who's your person?
Like you're talking as like my husband or
Yeah, like your person, like your partner, spouse, lover, the person that you are romantic with.
oh my husband
Mm. What's his first name?
leasing
What is it? Li Sengla?
leasing yeah
Li Sengla. Okay. So,
leasing
oh, huh?
leasing
Li Sengla. Okay.
yeah
So there's something that's happening between you and him, the energy there, and you may not really you may have realized it. I'm feeling like there is some kind of some pain points that isn't being faced. Um, would you say there's been some kind of disruption between the two of you lately? Do you feel that?
I feel like lately no.
Okay. Or maybe I don't know if you're conscious to it, but there's some kind of a spiritual disruption between you and him. The birds hitting the windshield it's not a full sacrifice on a spiritual and shamanic. This is a spiritual and shamanic perspective. So from what I'm seeing, it's not a full sacrifice of lives, two lives, but it is a message telling you that there is something coming in that could endanger the relationship, um, like the harmony of the relationship, that is. If you haven't felt that or be conscious to that yet between the two of you, I'm saying that perhaps you need to pay attention of what can
Mhm.
occur within the next 1 to 2 weeks, more like 1 week. Um, I'm seeing that there's something that maybe you don't know about or something that has to be talked about but isn't talked about because of a pain point or pain points that needs to be faced but isn't yet. These pain point goes a bit deep in regards to who is holding what. So I don't want you to start trouble with your husband or your husband starting trouble with you, but I'm just saying that this is something that I'm seeing that could be occurring. Okay. Uh
Mhm.
these like this partial injury or sacrifice, it's not a full sacrifice, but partial is the warning. Okay, a warning for you with the marriage. Okay, with marriage. So once you go back, um, and perhaps have a talk, uh, just finding out what's kind of going on, not saying what's going on, but asking and just kind of getting back to each other. When was the last time you went out on a date with your husband or like be together more intimately? It doesn't have to be a date, but just talking together.
Well, like if it's like a day or something, that's like a long time ago. You do have kids too, so it's like been I don't know ages.
Ages. See, it's been
Yeah,
ages. And that
it's been like
means
I don't know, few months.
it's what?
Oh, it's been like few months. I don't know. It's
Two
been a long
months?
time.
2 months?
No,
Okay.
a few months. I don't know.
A few months. Okay. So if you don't even know how long it's been a long time. Um, so you've got to come back to each other. And there's something that you're not paying attention to, and that the bird got your attention. I'll tell you that. So that's a sign of disruption. If it hasn't come already, it's I'll say in the spiritual world it has already come, but you in the waking life you just haven't felt it yet. And the warning is there from the birds. The good thing is that they didn't die, but also if they did end up dying, that is also a big sacrifice of what could be a worse situation. In this time, I'd say that don't worry too much about the situation, like as in like have anxiety over it, but the thing to do is to take action on the situation, like to talk to your husband to see if there's, something new that you don't know about, to get closer together because it seems like you got kids has been, you know, around and you're busy doing that, so you haven't gotten the time to come back to intimacy. Is that correct?
Yeah,
Lisa, can you hear what I'm saying?
yeah.
So if that makes sense to you, okay?
Uh-huh.
So it also this goes into your relationship the biggest. And then the next thing that it's triggering, so it's not like the direct thing, but it's triggering, is going to be your spiritual journey. Do you
What
understand?
is that supposed to mean?
Spiritual
Like,
journey?
yeah,
You said, what does that mean? Or what is that?
yeah.
So a spiritual journey means it's you finding out something about yourself on the spiritual side. Something that you may have to do for yourself spiritually. Because, say, for example, the spirits of the soul may be knowing something, maybe trying to tell you something, but you're not hearing it here today. Like you're not hearing it, being conscious to it. So if you're not conscious to something, it means you're not spiritually there yet, as in your mind, your body, your soul. Your soul's there, but yourself is not choosing to hear it yet. And that's not anybody's fault. It's just now you're being led to knowing deeper things, like a deeper wisdom within your life. Do you understand?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Are you here with me?
Yeah.
Okay. So I want you to go back, go spend some time with your husband, and connect back to him and also connect back to yourself. I do say that you do need deeper healing. Okay. Deeper healing, as in deeper shamanic or energy healing, to help you to be more conscious and to start to see things from a different point of view. I'm going to stop here. What was your name again?
Joa.
Joa. Joa.
No, it's just Joa.
Joa. Okay. All right. Warmest blessings, Joa. Hopefully that helped you. Did it help you?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, it did.
Okay. It did?
Yeah.
Okay. You sound like you were unsure there for a moment.
So,
Okay, so yeah, those two birds are a message telling you that you've got to come back to the family, to the relationship. There's something going on. Okay. All right.
okay.
I'll stop there. All right. Warmest blessings and
Okay.
talk to you
Thank
soon.
you.
Bye-bye.
Mm.
So I'll finish this off today. that when you, so we talked about the self-reading and finding a Sifu or teacher, okay? Definitely something that you can do, but will you trust it? Will you fear it? Will you doubt it? Of course you will. And you will not be satisfied for most of you. Some of you, you'll be pretty, you may trust it, and then you'll go with the what the self-reading is telling you, and you may be correct. Or if you, depending on how you're doing it and your spiritual thermostat, okay? I'll leave it at that. I'm going to stop right here and talk about the book. If you haven't learned about my book, it's The Universal Laws of Mankind. It's a memoir and shamanic aspect, something that if you are going to become a rising shaman or unique healer of some sort, and you are just going on to your spiritual journey, and you know that you've got to get on it because something is happening in your life, just like Jua, the gal that we just talked to that went off the phone right now. She's going through a spiritual journey. And when you go through a spiritual journey, you may get hit, okay? You may get hit by different things that come your way. And it's going to be a sign, a message, a symbol of some sort telling you, screaming at you, that you've got to get conscious of what is going on in your life. If you don't know what that means yet, go read up on the universal laws of mankind. I share about the different laws that's handpicked of what I learned from those laws. And this is the raw, unedited version. Of course, you guys, if you know me, you know I like it natural, innate, and just how it is, authentic, okay? So that's how my book is. And if you want to pay it forward, go donate now. If you haven't already, donate it to the channel. It would be helpful to have a donation and pay it forward, okay? To help yourself, pay it forward. At the same time, if you don't do anything, at least you can go get this book and go read on it and learn lots from it, okay? You will learn a lot of things if you haven't already gone through the whole wheel of shamanic wisdom and things like that. Even then, you may still learn a thing or two, okay? A thing or two. I just dropped out there on the screen the QR code to go, the link to go to that book on Amazon.com. All right, so here we have it that you can also pay attention to your dreams. Okay, so your dreams may be the thing that leads you to your Sifu also. If you've ever had a dream of a Sifu doing a healing on you, or that you've gone to that Sifu and you asked for a healing, and you're going to, I'm just going to take some water here, and you dream about that Sifu maybe healing you or giving you a message of some sort in that dream, then of course that dream is telling you something. It's a telling dream. We've talked about dreams before in a different show. And so the dreams is giving you the hints, and you may want to pay attention to how do you view your dreams, or what came in your dreams before you met your Sifu, and then what came into your dreams after you met your Sifu. If you're thinking about meeting or doing a healing with that Sifu and asking that Sifu to help you get out of whatever hardship or illness that you have put yourself into, or that has come upon your path. Okay, so dreams will be a good sign. It can give good signs, but remember, we talked about dreams, it can also be very tricky. So your name bo shang bo shuo, so need to Sifu, ye cai to ha dia, de ro ni chbo de need to Sifu, de shi yi tu nian ning jin ning, yo la ba nei no, tu no ni bo ha de ning tu lo, ye khono ni tu khe to ro ne ha dia, tu nian ning jin ning no, yo ba to nei thia, de shi yo chua nei lu xia, khi mu dou nu, ba nei na. Hồi lúc xia chỉ khí vậy, giờ này bao số là này yên chỉ bao địa, tuần đầu, giờ này tụi sư phụ lại tuần đầu giờ ba tuần này, này cho sa sa địa ô giờ quan bao số này nó sư, chỉ mua khai sa tao địa ô cô giờ mu thọ nữ sai, nữ ba bộ tao cũ, nè nè, Okay. So pay attention to your dreams. If you had a dream about someone, a healer of some sort, that can be your Sifu or teacher, you may want to take it seriously. Of course, if there's anything else in that dream that could be tricky, you may want to see if it's a trickery type of dream, or a dream that is trying to it's like a distraction within the dream to not let you or not allow you to get the healing from that specific shamanic practitioner or healer. Okay, so think about that, consider that as well. Now, genuinely getting a reading or healing, you must genuinely feel as though you need to get a healing from the practitioner, from the healer, from the shamanic healer or practitioner, or from this master shaman. Okay, so you may need to, you may need to be conscious of the need for healing. At the same time, when you go to this person or this healer, it has to be genuine. It's not like I'm trying to go there and I'm just going to test things out. Okay? Yes, you go there, you're gonna see how it feels. You're gonna try to get the experience, but don't go there with the mindset that says, I'm just gonna test it out. I'm gonna test her. Okay, so you want to go there genuinely. That's number one thing. And that is the most important piece. It's the piece I talked about at the beginning and the piece I'm gonna leave you with today. Of course, these are the questions that I'm going to lay it out with you right now are questions that you can ask yourself about the Sifu, or ask yourself in general, the persona and the lineage that potential Sifu for you, that could be the right fit for you. What is their persona? What is their lineage? You look at their altar, you have a feeling for it. You have a feeling for their headpiece. You have a feeling for what they're saying, for what they're teaching. This is what is going to give you some signs, symbols, or message in regards to the Sifu or the teacher that may be the right fit for you. So, discerning the character of your Sifu, you ask these type of questions. Number 1, or A, do you resonate with the Sifu's persona or character? Number 2, are you drawn to their lineage? Are you drawn to the lineage? The way they teach, or what they're teaching, the knowledge that they demonstrate. Sometimes the knowledge that they demonstrate may not suffice. And why I say that is because some teachers and Sifus are not going to teach you deep things publicly. Okay? Publicly. And they may not say all the things that they would like to say in the public. It's only because it's so sacred. Okay? Shamanic teaching and training is very sacred. Here today, I can say what I'm saying to you because it is something that my guides allow me to say. So if I'm not allowed to say it, I'm not going to teach it here publicly. Okay? Because I know it's going to help everybody on the planet, no matter what. So that's why we are saying what we're saying. But when you get into the deeper parts, you may see that Sifu from a very shallow, not that they're shallow as a person, but they may be teaching very shallow, okay? Shallow, like basic things. But when you get into a one-on-one, it may be deeper. Okay. And when you get into maybe even not talking at all, and they're able to do the work in silence, that's when it's the deepest. I'll tell you that right now. So it's not me teaching you here with words that's going to be deep for you. It's when it's going into a meditation, or it's when you are meditating with your teacher or Sifu, and they are giving you something sacred in silence, through the meditation, through trance, through bridging of your spirit guides. That is when it's going to be ultimately the best firsthand experience. Okay. So the other question is, can they accept you as a disciple? That's going to be another question for them, not you, but you can ask this to yourself. Are you up to par as well with that Sifu and perhaps their standards? Because some Sifu may have a certain standard and others may not. Can they see your spirit guide's details? So when you meet up with the Sifu may not tell you everything about your spirit guides, but if they can see something, like for example, myself, if I'm able to see some details in regards to your spirit guides, I may tell you, oh, this is the type of veil that you would wear. But I'm not going to go ahead and do that if I know that you potentially are not going to be a disciple of mine. Okay? Why? Because telling you isn't going to do anything except for perhaps you go tell somebody else, another master, that another Sifu told you that you had a white veil, right? For example. And that is going to be a skipping point for the next Sifu that you go to, the next master or shamanic practitioner that you go to, because then now you have just told them that another Sifu told you that you had a white veil, and now you just kind of blew it for the other master, right? For the other teacher or master or shamanic practitioner. So then what you need to do is really have this potential Sifu or master look into it for you. Don't tell them that this other person told you what you should be wearing. Okay, because everybody is going to be a bit different when they go and take a look. Now, what you have is what you have, right? It's not going to be any different, but it could potentially hurt you in the way where now this other Sifu has some information that they didn't look into, but now they're going to try to accommodate you through the knowledge that they got from you. So remember that always. That's why I always stop people from talking or clients from talking. And I say, wait a minute, just let me go take a look myself. I don't want anybody else's what they think or what they saw. I want to see what I see. Okay. So the other question is, do you get results from their healings? Do you get results from their healings? If you feel that that person may be your Sifu, well, you have to get a healing from that person. If you've never gotten a healing, then how do you know that they can heal you? How do you know how you're going to feel when they become your Sifu or teacher? So you might like their style, but when it gets to, like I said, the silence of things, and the work is done in silence, sacred work, are they going to be able to open up the doors and the gates for you? That's going to be the big question as well. So, in closing, for all of you that are here today, this is the awakening of humanity on earth. And I want to leave you with this. Regardless of your decision, if you were meant to have a Sifu at the time that you're searching and your choices synchronize with your soul's needs, you'll be able to break through to intuitively discern that your senses or feelings about this particular Sifu is correct, and trust you are making the right decision for your spiritual path. Remember to use your heart, head, and observations of the results that you've gotten or that you've felt so far with this particular shamanic practitioner or healer. Not just from what who said and she said and what said. It's from your firsthand experience. Now, if you heard somebody else out there say, oh, don't go to that person, they've got something going on. Well, the only way you're going to find out the truth is if you were to find out that truth through firsthand. Don't listen to gossip or rumors. You've got to find the truth, the true response or answer through firsthand. And if you go through the next step or you go to the next step, then you've got to get that healing for yourself, right? But again, you have to have this sort of innate feeling or a sense of you trusting that particular shamanic practitioner. So go off of the results from what you're feeling so far, your intuition basically, from that Sifu or teacher. And also see if you can feel up to par of leveling up to where they come from, understanding what they're teaching. Maybe you're interested in what they're teaching, how they teach it. Because some people may teach the same thing, but the same concept, but each person teaches it in a different way. So see if you can understand that particular shamanic practitioner before you go and ask them to be your Sifu as well, because then it will be tough. It will be rough. Again, you don't go with fully just your mind or fully just your heart. You have to take both things into consideration. But when it comes to the ultimatum, it's going to be go with your heart, because your heart is your soul and your soul knows best. I'm going to leave you with that. Warmest blessings. Go share, like, subscribe if you haven't already. Go and follow on Facebook and spread this video in particular to all those that you know that has been having a hard time and has been trying to self-rise with resource. If you haven't already seen it, go watch the video on self-rising. Warmest blessings and talk soon. Bye-bye.